In a small mountain town in the German-speaking part of northern Italy, a boy who spent his childhood carving down ski slopes had no idea he would one day become one of the wealthiest and most talked about athletes on the planet. That boy was Jannik Sinner. And today, his life looks less like a sports story and more like a study in quiet, deliberate luxury. Sinner was born in Innichen in South Tyrol to a father who worked as a chef and a mother who waited tables at a ski lodge. There was no inherited fortune, no family business, no shortcut. Everything that followed was built one tournament, one endorsement, and one calculated decision at a time. He was actually a champion skier before he ever committed fully to tennis, and that early discipline shaped the calm, almost mechanical focus that now defines him on court and off it. By his mid-20s, Sinner's career earnings had climbed to nearly $50 million, placing him among the highest-earning male tennis players in history. But prize money is only the surface. His real fortune comes from a different place entirely. A personal brand built so carefully that it now rivals the biggest names the sport has ever produced. The turning point came with a bag. Not a trophy, not a match point, a bag. When Sinner walked onto Wimbledon's center court carrying a custom monogrammed Gucci duffel instead of the standard racket sponsor kit, the moment rippled far beyond tennis. It became a fashion statement, then a cultural one. Gucci had signed him back in 2021, long before most fans outside Italy knew his name, and that early bet is now widely seen as one of the smartest luxury sponsorships in modern sport. Sinner doesn't perform for cameras or chase headlines. He simply wins, stays composed, and lets the results speak, which is exactly the understated confidence that luxury houses have been trying to sell for years. Industry insiders now describe it as the quiet luxury effect. Subtle wealth, refined taste, zero need to shout about either. Then there is Nike. His agreement with the brand is reportedly worth well over $100 million, one of the largest apparel deals in tennis history, and it forms the financial bedrock underneath everything else he has built. Layer on top of that a relationship with Ferrari, the other great symbol of Italian craftsmanship, and Sinner has effectively become a walking advertisement for his home country's most iconic luxury exports. He is frequently seen at Ferrari paddocks and events, a natural fit for a national hero whose success plays directly into brand storytelling that Italian companies dream about. Despite all of this, Sinner's actual lifestyle reads more like restraint than excess. His estimated net worth sits somewhere between $35 and $45 million, an extraordinary sum. Yet by superstar athlete standards, it is almost modest. He owns a small collection of luxury cars and some real estate, but nothing extravagant, nothing designed to impress. Those close to his camp describe someone who treats money the way he treats his forehand, with precision, patience, and very little wasted motion. His choice of home says the same thing. Sinner lives in Monte Carlo, specifically in the La Condamine district of Monaco, a place chosen not for flash, but for function. It puts him close to elite training facilities, offers a level of privacy that is difficult to find in Italy, and comes with financial advantages that matter enormously to a professional athlete earning income across dozens of countries. Monaco is also, notably, not an isolated bubble. It's a small, lively principality where Sinner can walk among neighbors, grab coffee, and live a version of normal life that would be impossible in Rome or Milan. What makes Sinner's story different from the usual luxury lifestyle narrative is the near total absence of scandal or excess. There are no wild parties, no controversial outbursts, no long list of supercars parked outside a mansion for the cameras. Instead, there is a private tennis academy he funded using proceeds from his 2025 Wimbledon win, created specifically to give disadvantaged children access to the sport that changed his own life. He also established a foundation focused on children's education and athletics, a project that quietly builds the kind of reputation no amount of advertising money could buy. At just 24, Sinner is entering what should be the most dominant stretch of his career. both athletically and financially. As legends like Federer and Nadal have faded from the active tour, a clear space has opened for the next global face of tennis. And Sinner's calm, camera-ready, scandal-free image makes him a natural fit for that role. Luxury brands are not just paying for exposure anymore. They are paying for exactly the kind of values-driven, understated persona that Sinner has built almost by accident, simply by being himself. It raises an interesting question about modern wealth and fame. Sinner's story shows that in an era obsessed with visible excess, from gold chains to garages full of hypercars, there is another kind of power that money can buy: the power of restraint. A Gucci bag can say more than a fleet of sports cars ever could, if the person carrying it has the results to back it up.
From a modest household in the Italian Alps to a 9-figure Nike contract, from a childhood on skis to center court at Wimbledon, from anonymous junior tournaments to paddock visits with Ferrari, Jannik Sinner's rise reflects a very particular kind of 21st century luxury. It is not about how much you spend. It is about how effortlessly you appear to have already arrived, while quietly building an empire behind the scenes. Whether Sinner continues climbing the rankings or eventually settles into the ambassador role that seems to be waiting for him, one thing already looks certain. He has built something rare in modern sport: a fortune and an image that grow together, each one reinforcing the other, without ever needing to raise its voice.
Compare that to the traditional athlete wealth story, the one built on visible trophies of success, the sprawling mansion, the garage rotating through hypercars, the constant stream of designer unboxings for the cameras. Sinner's approach flips that script. His wealth is real and growing every quarter, yet almost none of it is performed. There is no reality show, no tell-all interview about fame, no leaked relationship drama to keep his name trending. In an attention economy where most public figures manufacture visibility, Sinner builds his fortune the opposite way, letting his tennis do the talking, while everything else stays deliberately quiet. That restraint is itself a luxury good. Anyone with enough money can buy a supercar. Very few can build a public image so composed that the world's biggest fashion house hands over a monogrammed bag and lets a 20-something athlete carry their name onto the most watched court in tennis. That kind of trust has to be earned, tournament after tournament, without a single misstep.